Here is one tip that will help you find peace in your life. Now, whether you're religious or not, this is an extremely powerful tip. This is the Serenity prayer. At least I'm basing this tip off of the Serenity prayer. Now, the Serenity prayer was written by I believe it was an American theologian named Reinhold Niebuhr. And the prayer itself it's about a page and a half long, but I'm only going to be talking about the top part. And the prayer goes like this. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Now, if you don't know what serenity is, it's important to know because serenity is kind of a big part of the prayer. It's asking God for peace. Serenity is peace, tranquility, calmness. So you're saying, God, grant me peace to accept what I cannot change. Well, what can you not change? The terms in which I use are what are you in control of and what are you not in control of. So in this case, you're really not in control of anything. If you really stop and think about it, I'd say you're only in control about 5% of your life. And even that is hard to control. So if you look at yourself and you make up, let's just say 10% of life in general, or your life, 10%, well, half of that you didn't even really choose. You didn't choose the fact that you were born in America or wherever you're born. You didn't choose your race. You didn't choose your gender. You didn't choose any of this stuff. It was just kind of, here you go, welcome to Earth, figure it out. So really, what are you in control of? Well, you're in control of your behaviors, and even that you're not always in control of. If you've seen any of my content, you'll know that 95% of your behaviors, beliefs, actions, thoughts, fill in the blank, 95% of those things come from a subconscious part of the brain. They come from an unconscious part of the brain. So even the 5% that you're kind of in control of, you're still struggling to control. And if you, so God grant me the peace to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can. Now, this is where hard work kind of comes in. That's where you look at that 95% and if you can identify your core beliefs, if you can identify your faulty beliefs or beliefs that are running on an old operating system, that's one way of putting it. Let's say it's outdated. You develop these beliefs or these coping mechanisms as a child, and now that you're an adult, you no longer live with the people that you had to cope with, but you're still coping in that manner. You have to say, okay, it's time to change this because it's really not helpful. In fact, it's become toxic because it hasn't changed. So that's part of the 95%. So you're looking to upgrade yourself. You're looking to mature, change faulty beliefs, implement healthier coping skills, all this stuff. That's part of that 5% that you are in control of in life. And then the end of the prayer, or at least the end of that section of the prayer, is the wisdom to know the difference. And this is a huge key, because as you go, and this is my challenge to you, by the way, as you go through your day, as you go through your week, pay attention to the things that you are trying to control that you have no control over. Because if you're trying to control things that you can't control, there's going to be frustration, there's going to be anxiety and anger, there's going to be depression. I mean, there's going to be a whole bucket full of negative emotions, because here you are trying to do something that you literally can't do. Now, you can influence people to the best of your ability. You can encourage them, you can ask them to change, you can lead them depending on where you are in the hierarchy of that relationship, or the pecking order of that relationship. You can influence, but you can't control. And so if you are, let's say, atheist, because I work with atheists and agnostics, and I work with people who aren't just Christian, I'll put it that way. So it's God, or whichever God, or even the universe, or the fact that there's a psychology behind God. Like, if you're not just giving your stuff to God, you are just giving it away. And basically, you're just not owning it. It's going somewhere, but you're just not owning it. And so you're saying, grant me this serenity. Help me find this serenity. Well, you're talking to yourself, asking, from an atheist standpoint, that you're talking to yourself saying, I need to find peace in this. I need to accept this. I need to just let go. I need to just let go of the things I cannot change, work on the things that I can change, and have the courage to face them head on. And when I say the courage to face them, when you look at your old beliefs or trauma from your past, like it takes a lot of courage, because there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of pain that you don't want to continue to touch. So you need this courage to dive deep into your past, deep into your hurts and your wounds and your traumas in order to change them. Someone said to me once, and I think it's the most corny saying, although there's so much truth to it, that in order to heal, you have to feel. And that seems like a therapist bumper sticker you will not see on the back of my car, by the way. But it's true. In order to heal from it, you have to face it. You have to look at it. You have to bring it head on. It's just like a conflict that you keep having in your, let's say, a relationship. You do eventually have to confront the person and have that conflict, no matter how uncomfortable it is, no matter if it destroys the relationship, no matter what it is. Eventually the relationship's going to be destroyed anyway, so you might as well confront it. And this goes back to that 95%. Sometimes it can be uncomfortable digging up the past, let's say trauma, childhood trauma. It's so easy to traumatize children. The reason is because the conscious part of the brain is not up and running. And so the subconscious part, the part that can't rationalize anything or think logically, is running, and it's running everything. And so, for instance, if you call a 6-year-old ugly, they're going to start crying and they're going to run off. You call a 13-year-old ugly, they're going to be like, you're ugly, because they have the capacity to argue and to rationalize for the most part, and to be logical somewhat. They have that. But children, younger children don't have that. So we all deal with some sort of trauma in our life, whether we accept it or not, whether we know it or not, whether we understand that or not. We do deal with trauma in our life. So, but to bring it all the way back, because this video is not about trauma, it's more about finding the peace. Although, like I said, if you need help working on finding that trauma and those faulty beliefs and those outdated coping mechanisms, feel free to reach out. That is what I do. But to bring it all the way back, go through your day and notice what you are trying to control that you can't control. And the things that you can't control, you need to influence the best that you can, but you need to let go of the results. Okay? Because the moment that you're not getting the results you want, the moment that you slip back into that frustration, anger, depression, anxiety type mindset, because you're trying to control something you have no control over. And this is why it's not about the results. It's about who you are and the persona, the energy, the vibe that you put out about who you are. If you're just doing something to get a certain result, that's kind of manipulation. But if you're being someone and you end up getting the results because of who you are, that's a different situation altogether. So God, grant me the serenity or the peace to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and then the wisdom to know the difference. If you are looking for one-on-one coaching or therapeutic counsel, please feel free to contact me. There are other people with Red Brook, and we work with this daily. Until next time, my friends. Until next time.